I know, chasing that dough, hitting that road, getting that money, man. All I know, loading that foe, kicking down doors, getting that money, man. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly. We gon' make it money. We gon' take it grizzly.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is the pay-per-view buys. Canelo versus Plant does 800,000 in pay-per-view buys. But before we go there, if you missed it, we have GQG in the building, ladies and gentlemen. GQG, aka Idris Alba, and now we have another name for GQG.
Hey, go ahead, man. What you called me, son?
Giselle Washington,
aka Giselle Washington. Now, typically we don't do this on Boxing Bros, but we would like to do a light plug. And we're looking for your help and we're looking for your support with this. We're dead serious about this. So if you can see this is a tweet. And it says, "Dear at Eddie Hearn and at Matchroom Boxing, the Boxing Bros would like to request media passes to the at Boo Boo Andrade fight in NH and the at Teofimo Lopez fight in MSG. Please contact me with your response to our request. Thank you. We're asking you, everyone who watches the Boxing Bros, to retweet that and also tweet at Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing yourself and say, give the Boxing Bros media passes to this fight. Okay, this is we're really asking you to do this. So
we don't ask for much.
We don't ask you for money. We don't charge you anything. But what we're asking you to do is, if you have Twitter, then retweet or send your own tweet. Say at Eddie Hearn, give the Boxing Bros media passes, or at Eddie Hearn, Boxing Bros media passes. Just tweet it, send it out to at Eddie Hearn and at Matchroom Boxing. All right.
Fire underneath his.
All right. So the next topic we're going to discuss, like I said, is Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant does 800,000 pay-per-view buys. Now, of course, this is from numerous sources that are reporting this. One source in particular is Dan Rayfield. And here's the source right here, SB Sports Nation. As you can see, they pointed out, it says, according to a report by Boxing Scene, the Canelo versus Plant pay-per-view absolutely crushed it with an estimated 800,000 buys in the domestic U.S. That includes purchases made through traditional services like cable/satellite and digital buys through the Showtime app. The expected pay-per-view number was closer to 500,000, so the event blew away all early predictions. So that's what it has to say. Basically, what they're saying is they thought it was going to do 500,000, did 800,000. We have the commish. We have Nostradamus. What is your reaction to the projected pay-per-view numbers?
All Canelo fans, shout out to Canelo.
All Canelo fans, and you got to give Tennessee.
Yeah. Shout out to Tennessee.
Down Tennessee, probably everybody purchased that fight to show love.
Now that just shows you, that Canelo's a star. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, whoever you put Canelo in is going to do numbers. Even was a sold out crowd when he fought the guy who just came there to take pictures with him. Yeah. No, Canelo brings him out. Canelo's a star. You put him in there with somebody that's good competition, or somebody that's talking that trash, or is coming with some type of energy, is going to do even bigger numbers. What else can I say? What can I say?
Hey, you can't say what's already explained. If you
Canelo's just the number one. That's why I say that Canelo is the number one pound for pound star in the sport right now. His numbers, he proves it.
All right, the Spirit G. Oh, sorry.
Say that again.
Dog Bill?
Yeah, I'm done. Am I
No, I'm saying what was the last thing you said?
I was like, that just shows why I think that he's the pound for pound star in the sport. He brings it out and how he does it. So Shout out to Canelo Alvarez. Shout out to the whole team.
All right, Conspiracy G.
Yeah, with this fight, like I remember trying to purchase the fight. Like it was like 9:00. I probably pressed like the purchase thing on Xfinity maybe like 6, maybe 8 times or something. It wasn't going through. I'm like, what's going on? And fine, I remember I was on the phone with Caden. He's trying to purchase the fight at the same time also. And we're both having problems. And finally it went through for both of us.
And G was being disrespectful.
What you mean?
G was being disrespectful because we were we were trying to order the fight, and it kept saying like my car was being declined, and I'm like, my car's being declined. Like what? Like, and G was like, "What's up? That money's drying up." I'm like, "Yo, watch your mouth, G."
But nah, so that just told me it was a high demand fight, And then when you think about it, with the antics and everything on top of Canelo's star power, that was a perfect formula. That slap. That generated thousands of buys, you know what I mean? So, and it's just I can see. Honestly, I thought it was going to probably be 1 million pay-per-view buys, to be honest. But 800 is still a spectacular number, especially seeing what Tank did, like 250,000. You know what I mean? And everyone was praising Tank for those numbers. If that's the standard now for 2021, then Canelo's definitely the pay-per-view GOAT right now. You know what I mean? Because 800 is way more than 200. So yeah, man. But this was expected. I kind of feel like 500,000 was selling Canelo kind of short, especially Plant, for a number of reasons. Plant being a U.S. Champion, Plant being a white champion, like all of that plays a factor into people buying and supporting this fight. So I thought, so like 800,000, that makes sense to me. But honestly, I really thought it was going to reach 1 million at least.
All right, salute to you, Michael G. Jordan. All right, Ned the TBE.
I'm writing down what you're
doing. Yeah. What is it? Nah, it's expected. It was a big fight. It was undisputed. All the belts were on the line. And Canelo brings out the crowd. And shout out to Plant for doing his part. And I don't know what part of his fans generated that money. But 800K, that's a success in my eyes. And who's the last person to hit 1 million? I don't know. Mike Tyson?
Didn't Floyd and Paul hit 1 million?
Right? Oh yeah, I think it was Logan. Yeah, Logan Paul.
Waste some money. But this was worth. This earned his money's worth. Shout out to Canelo for the bag, getting the bag, and becoming that undisputed champion, doing his thing. I that's impressive in this day and age. Not everybody buying pay-per-view anymore. They bootlegging.
You know a little something about that, huh, Ned? All right, so
baby,
the bootleg enthusiast, the bootleg expert. So check it out. 800,000 at this particular point in time, like Ned was pointing out, when you're talking about some people who still haven't recovered from the pandemic, being out of work, you're talking about holiday season approaching. 800,000 when you're not talking about 2 megastars, you're talking about Canelo fighting a guy who was fighting on regular Fox cable against Truax, his fight before fighting Canelo Alvarez, to do 800,000 pay-per-view buys. And you also got to put in this proper perspective where I believe the pay-per-view was $75. So even when you talk about
$80, it was $79.99.
Oh, $80, yeah. So when you talk about Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather generating 1 million pay-per-view buys at $50, when you talk about 800,000 at $80 a watt, you start to see like that's some serious money, that's some serious power. But for me, this is very impressive because, and you look at Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, the trilogy, I believe it did 650,000 pay-per-view buys. And that's 2 heavyweight attractions fighting each other. This is Canelo and Caleb. And I don't think anyone's going to mistake Caleb for a superstar in the sport of boxing. I mean, he's known in Tennessee, as Trill always say, you're always the man where you're from. But if you brought Caleb to the U.S. outside of Tennessee, I don't know how many people would actually know who he is. So for Canelo to produce this number, I think speaks volumes about who's the number one superstar in the sport. And remember, this is only including domestic U.S. buys. Although I don't necessarily know if it was on pay-per-view in other places. I believe the UK watches the fight for free. So they wouldn't have had to pay for it. But anyways, the number is solid. And I think that number is only going to go up with the right opponent. So salute to Canelo. No surprise to me. And the beauty of having Trill back is he can take us out. Take us out, Trill.
Please let us know how you feel in the comment section. And please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And also, please retweet the tweet giving us media passes. Shout out to Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. You know who we are. We are the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome.